Alright, Marvel fans, assemble! Let's get ready to come back to the ultimate MCU showdown. We're embarking on an epic quest to determine the greatest film in the Infinity Saga. That's right, we're taking on all 23 films from Iron Man to Avengers Endgame in a bracket-style tournament. But this isn't just a simple ranking. It's a battle for cinematic glory. Each film will go head to head, facing intense scrutiny and passionate debate. Here's how we'll break it down. Round one, we're going to give you the best line, best scene, and the best action with the personal touch. We'll dive deep into each film, dissecting its most unforgettable scenes, powerful lines, and adrenaline-pumping action sequences. We'll share our own personal connections, nostalgic memories, and what truly makes these moments stand out. Then round two, we're heading right to the final verdict. That's right, our esteemed judge, Gemini, will weigh the evidence, consider the arguments, and declare a winner for each matchup. Prepare for shocking upsets, nail-biting decisions, and a journey through the most iconic moments of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Only one film will emerge victorious, claiming the title of the best in the Infinity Saga. This is the ultimate test. This is the Infinity Gauntlet of movie debates. Let the tournament begin. Alright, welcome everyone back to the third round, or the third section, I guess, the third set of matches of the first round of the MCU Infinity Saga tournament. Quick recap, we got some good stuff going on. So far, moving on to round number two, we have, so right away, Avengers Endgame got a bye to the second round, obviously. Duh, hello, who didn't see that coming? Then, in the first set of matches, we have Avengers Infinity War, Captain America Civil War, and Black Panther all moving on to the second round. And last week, Guardians of the Galaxy and Doctor Strange also moved on to the second round. So tonight, we're going to find out if the number 4 ranked Infinity Saga movie Iron Man 1 can take down the number 21 ranked Captain Marvel, as well as we're going to find out if the number 10 ranked Spiderman Homecoming can tackle the number 15 ranked Ant-Man and the Wasp. That's right, fun stuff for tonight, and I'd love to get into the first round of the first matchup, which is Iron Man versus Captain Marvel. I would love to get into it. But before we can get into the first round of the first matchup, we have to have the tale of the tape. Alright, here we go. No wasting time. Alright, let's get ready for a superhero face-off. Here's the tale of the tape for Iron Man versus Captain Marvel. Here we go. Release date, Iron Man. Release date May 2nd, 2008. Captain Marvel's release date March 8th, 2019. 11 years later. Runtime, we're looking at 2 hours and 6 minutes for Iron Man and 2 hours and 4 minutes for Captain Marvel, so right in the same range. Film budget, looking at $140 million for Iron Man. Remember, this was the first one. This was the one that started off. And then Captain Marvel, we're looking at, it was around $175 million for the film budget. Opening weekend box office gross. Iron Man, $98.6 million opening weekend box office gross. And then for Captain Marvel, opening weekend box office gross, we had $153.4 million. Yeah, big one. And then the worldwide box office gross, we had for Iron Man $585.8 million. And then I'll tell you, Captain Marvel, this was coming hot off of Avengers Infinity War. The Infinity Saga, it was red hot at this point. So Captain Marvel, even though I'm not the biggest fan of it, grossed $1.131 billion at the box office, worldwide box office. And then the directors we have for this movie, obviously, it's the man, the myth, Happy himself, Jon Favreau directing Iron Man. And then for Captain Marvel, we have Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck directing Captain Marvel. So that is the tale of the tape for Captain Marvel versus Iron Man. So let's get ready to go to round one. Round one, fight! All right, here's the dirty in round one. We're going to give you the best scene, the best line, and the best action sequence from both films, Iron Man and Captain Marvel. So let's start off. So, all right, let's fire up the arc reactor and talk about the groundbreaking film that started it all. And we're talking about Iron Man. That's right. So let's go with the best scene. So, one of the most pivotal and arguably the best scene in Iron Man is Tony Stark's first flight in the Mark II armor. After escaping captivity and realizing the destructive potential of his creations, Tony dedicates himself to building a suit that can protect the innocent. The moment he takes to the skies for the first time, initially struggling with the controls and then soaring with newfound freedom and power, is exhilarating. It's a visual representation of his transformation from a selfish industrialist to a burgeoning hero. The sheer joy and wonder on his face, coupled with the iconic score, make this scene truly unforgettable and mark the birth of Iron Man. Then let's move it on to the best line. And honestly, this line, I mean, it's just incredible. So, as for the best line, it has to be the instantly classic and perfectly delivered I am Iron Man, which might even be the best line in Endgame. I don't know. There's so many. But this simple yet powerful declaration at the press conference when Tony chooses to reveal his superhero identity to the world is a defining moment for the character and the entire MCU. That's right. It's a bold and unexpected move that sets the tone for the kind of superhero Tony Stark will be, one who operates in the public eye for better or worse. The line is delivered with a signature blend of arrogance and conviction. This is coincidentally, quintessential Tony Stark. When it comes to the best action, though, Mark 1 Escape from the Ten Rings compound is a strong contender. I will say that. This raw and visceral sequence showcases Tony's ingenuity and desperation as he uses limited resources to build his first armored suit. The clunky movements, the makeshift weaponry, and the sheer determination on Tony's face as he fights his way through his captors is thrilling. It's a contrast to the sleek and polished Iron Man we see later, obviously, but it establishes his resourcefulness and willingness to fight for his freedom and what's right. Even if most dire circumstances. So this scene is a powerful introduction to Iron Man's capabilities and sets the stage for the action to come. That's right. Okay, so that was Iron Man's best line, best scene, best action. Let's go on to Captain Marvel. Okay, so here we go. I would have to say Captain Marvel. One of the most empowering and arguably the best scene in Captain Marvel is Carol's full unleashing of her powers while facing the supreme intelligence and remembering her past. This moment, set to a powerful musical cue, showcases Carol's finally breaking free from the manipulations and limitations imposed on her. As she absorbs energy and fully embraces her identity as Carol Danvers and Captain Marvel, her raw power is visually stunning and emotionally resonant. It signifies her journey and self discovery and her refusal to be controlled, making it a pivotal turning point in the film and solidifying her as a force to be reckoned with in the MCU, which she definitely ends up being. As for the best line, I would say the strong contender is I'm not going to fight your war. I'm going to end it. Which, I mean, tell me about it. This declaration, delivered with unwavering conviction to the Supreme Intelligence, encapsulates Carol's independent spirit and her commitment to justice on her own terms. It highlights her refusal to blindly follow authority and her determination to forge her own path as a hero. The line is both powerful and indicative of Carol's strength and moral compass, setting her apart as a distinct and compelling figure within the MCU. And then when it comes to the best action scene, the extended aerial battle between Captain Marvel and the Kree fleet is a standout. This sequence showcases the full extent of Carol's fight capabilities, her energy projection powers, and her sheer speed and agility in combat. The visuals of her soaring through space, effortlessly taking down enemy ships while dodging blasts, are exhilarating. It's a dynamic and impressive display of her cosmic level power, solidifying her status as one of MCU's most formidable heroes and providing a thrilling spectacle that truly captures the essence of Captain Marvel in action. So, that does it for round one. We went over best scene, best line, and best action. So let's head on to round two. Round two. Fight! All right, here we go. This is what we got. So, round two, we're going to ask AI to give us a skinny on what movie they think is better. Is it Iron Man or Captain Marvel? So, let's see what old, Gemini's got to say. Here we go. So, I asked Gemini this. I said, "Hello, Gemini, can you please tell me what movie you think is better, Iron Man or Captain Marvel?" They responded by saying thus. They said, "This is a really interesting comparison as both Iron Man and Captain Marvel serve as origin stories for pivotal characters in the MCU, but they have different tones and impacts." All right. Gemini then goes to say, "If I had to choose which movie I think is better overall, I would probably lean slightly towards Iron Man. And here's why. Foundation of the MCU. Iron Man was the film that started the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. Its success was crucial, and it set the tone and style that many subsequent films followed. Robert Downey Jr.'s portrayal of Tony Stark was iconic and instantly captivating." That's right. Character arc. Tony Stark's transformation from a selfish industrialist to a hero is compelling and well developed throughout the film. His wit and flawed personality made him a unique and engaging protagonist. And then let's talk about the pacing and tone. Iron Man strikes a great balance between action, humor, and character development. The pacing feels tight, and the tone is consistently engaging. That's right. However, Captain Marvel also had significant strengths. Very true. Representation. As the MCU's first female-led superhero film, Captain Marvel was a significant cultural moment and provided important representation. I mean, sure. Yep, I have a daughter. Didn't know that this was such a big thing, but it is. And then power and scope. Captain Marvel's powers and her cosmic adventure expanded the scope of the MCU in exciting ways. And then nostalgia and mystery. Set in the 1990s, the film had a unique nostalgia feel and built intrigue around Carol Danvers' past. Ultimately, both films are strong additions to the MCU and have their own dedicated fans. Iron Man, however, gets a slight edge for its foundational role and the enduring impact of its lead character. So there you go. That's the first match in the book. So moving on to round two, it's Iron Man 1, the film that started it all. I mean, you kind of saw this one coming, but you never know. You never know these days. Things going on, how anyone's going to take anything. But yeah, Iron Man, the first one, was so good that it made two other mediocre ones after it. So, all right. Well, that was the first matchup. So let's keep it moving on to the second matchup of the night. All right, here we go. We're going to the second matchup of this round of bouts, I guess you'd want to say. Either way, hate that I can't say that right. But we're moving on, and it's going to be Spider-Man Homecoming versus Ant-Man and the Wasp. Got a big one tonight. So here we go. So before we can get into the first round of Spider-Man Homecoming versus Ant-Man and the Wasp, we just have to do one thing, and that one thing is the tail of the tape. All right, let's get ready for a superhero showdown. Here's the tail of the tape for Spider-Man Homecoming versus Ant-Man and the Wasp. So, release date. We got Spider-Man Homecoming release date July 7th, 2017. And then Ant-Man and the Wasp release date was July 6th, 2018. So, almost exactly a year later to the day. The runtime, Spider-Man Homecoming looking at 2 hours and 13 minutes, while Ant-Man and the Wasp, we had 1 hour and 58 minutes. Pretty good. Film budget, Spider-Man Homecoming, $175 million for the film budget. Ant-Man and the Wasp, we're looking at $162 million. And then opening weekend box office gross for Spider-Man Homecoming, we had $117 million in the opening weekend, and Ant-Man and the Wasp, $75.8 million. Yeah. So both of these were big. Ant-Man and the Wasp was also coming off the success of Infinity War before we got to Endgame, and it showed that Ant-Man was stuck in the quantum realm going into Endgame. So pretty important stuff. And then worldwide box office gross. So for Ant-Man and the Wasp, worldwide box office gross, $622.7 million. Big hitter. And then for worldwide box office gross for Spider-Man Homecoming, we're looking at $880.2 million. This was a massive hit. Spider-Man, I mean, welcome to the MCU. This is a massive hit. Really, really good stuff. Tom Holland crushed it. And then the directors, we got John Watts as the director for Spider-Man Homecoming. And then we got Peyton Reed as the director for Ant-Man and the Wasp. Well, that does it for the tale of the tape. So let's keep moving on to round one. Round one. Fight! In this round, giving you the best scene, best line, best action. So let's get started with Spider-Man Homecoming. All right, so let's swing into the action with some Spider-Man Homecoming. One of the most pivotal and arguably the best scene in Spider-Man Homecoming is the warehouse collapse scene where Peter is trapped under debris after his confrontation with the Vulture. That's right. This moment is a powerful turning point from Peter's character. Stripped of his high-tech suit, facing imminent danger, he has to rely on his own strength and determination to escape. This scene is a raw and emotionally intense, forcing Peter to confront his limitations and ultimately proving his inherent heroism lies within himself, not just the suit. It's a crucial moment of self discovery that underscores the film's themes of responsibility and what it truly means to be a hero. As for the best line, I mean, I'd probably say it was Stark's line. So a strong contender would be Tony Stark's simple yet impactful, if you're nothing without the suit, then you shouldn't have it. Right? So true. This line, delivered as Peter disobeys orders and nearly causes disaster on the ferry, serves as a crucial lesson for the young hero. It cuts through Peter's reliance on Stark's technology and forces him to consider his own worth and abilities. It's a moment of tough love from his mentor, pushing Peter to understand that true heroism comes from within, not from gadgets. And then when it comes to the best action scene, the aerial battle between Spider-Man and Vulture above and around the Stark jet is a standout. This sequence is thrilling and visually dynamic, showcasing Spider-Man's agility and resourcefulness as he tries to stop the Vulture from hijacking the plane. The stakes are high, the choreography is exciting, and the use of Peter's webs in an aerial environment is inventive. It's a well-paced, suspenseful action sequence that effectively utilizes Spider-Man's unique abilities and raises the tension towards the film's climax. All right, well, that does it for Spider-Man Homecoming. Let's move on to the best scene, best line, best action from Ant-Man and the Wasp. All right, so let's shrink down and fly high with Ant-Man and the Wasp. Okay, so one of the most visually creative and arguably the best scene in Ant-Man and the Wasp is the chase sequence through San Francisco where Ant-Man's regulator malfunctions, causing him to uncontrollably change size. This extended scene is a masterclass in comedic action showcasing the unpredictable and often hilarious consequences of Scott Lang's unstable suit. Yeah, from suddenly becoming giant and using a truck as a scooter to shrinking down to insect size to evade capture, the scene is filled with inventive uses of Ant-Man's powers and keeps the audience constantly surprised and entertained. The sheer absurdity and clever choreography make it a standout moment in the film. Oh, so true. All right, and as far as for the best line, a strong contender is Luis's rapid fire events leading up to the main plot. I mean, Michael Pena is just the best. The delivery of these convoluted and often, wild stories is a consistent source of humor throughout the Ant-Man films, and his summary in Ant-Man and the Wasp is particularly memorable for its speed, detail, and hilarious digressions. It perfectly encapsulates Lewis's character and provides a much-needed comic beat amidst the more serious plot developments, making it a fan-favorite moment of witty and engaging dialogue. But when it comes to the best action scene, the final confrontation between Ant-Man and the Wasp and Ghost in the quantum realm is a thrilling and visually impressive sequence. This battle utilizes the unique environment of the quantum realm to its full potential, with characters shifting sizes and phasing through objects in a dynamic and unpredictable way. The stakes are high as they race against time to save Janet Van Dyne, and the combined powers of Ant-Man and the Wasp working in tandem are showcased effectively against Ghost's formidable abilities. Very true. The creative use of the quantum realm's bizarre physics makes this fight scene a visually stunning and exciting climax to the film. So that'll do it for old round number one in this bout. So let's keep moving on to round two. Round two, fight! Super excited for this. So I reached out to our friend once again, old Gemini. And I said, hey, Gemini, hey, Bub, what do you think? Can you tell me what movie's better? Spider-Man Homecoming or Ant-Man and Wasp? And this is what he had to say. So, this is a fun one. Both Spider-Man Homecoming and Ant-Man and the Wasp bring a lighter, more comedic tone to the MCU, but they have distinct styles and strengths. And they says, but if Gemini did have to choose which movie they think is better overall, they would lean slightly towards Spider-Man Homecoming. That's right. And here's the reason why. Let's talk about character focus. Homecoming does a fantastic job of establishing Peter Parker as a relatable high school student, juggling superhero responsibilities. His journey of wanting to prove himself to Tony Stark while dealing with everyday teenage issues feels very grounded and engaging. And then the villain. Michael Keaton's portrayal of the Vulture in Homecoming is often cited as one of the MCU's best villains. Could not agree more. His motivations are compelling, and he provides a genuine threat to with personal ties to Peter. And then the integration into the MCU. Homecoming seamlessly bends Spider-Man into the wider MCU while still maintaining its distinct identity. The mentor-mentee relationship with Tony Stark is an absolute highlight. And then, however, Ant-Man and the Wasp also had a lot to offer. So, visually creative. The size-changing powers are utilized in incredibly creative and often hilarious ways, leading to some very unique action sequences. And then the team dynamic. The partnership between Scott Lang, Hope Van Dyne is a lot of fun. And Evangeline Lilly's Wasp is a fantastic addition to the MCU. Can't disagree there. And then the quantum realm exploration. The film begins to delve deeper into the mysteries of the quantum realm, which becomes very important in later MCU films, as you know. Ultimately, both films are very enjoyable and successful within the MCU. Spider-Man Homecoming edges out slightly for its stronger character focus, compelling villain, and seamless integration into the wider universe. So that does it. So it looks like Spider-Man Homecoming and Iron Man are moving on to the next round. Who would have thought? I could see that. I don't know. Ant-Man and the Wasp is good, but usually, it's very rare that, a second film in a series will beat an origin. You know what I mean? So, I'll tell you this, though. After that, both Ant-Man films have been booted from the tournament, so they're gone. Captain Marvel, we knew that wasn't lasting. So, real fun, though. Had a lot of fun with this one. So, as of now, moving on to the second round, we have, and this is not in the order of where they'll face each other, we have Avengers Endgame, Avengers Infinity War, Captain America Civil War, Black Panther, Guardians of the Galaxy, Doctor Strange, and then the new ones tonight were Iron Man and Homecoming, all moving on to the next round. So, next week, we'll have some killer matchups. We have the number 5 ranked Avengers, the first Avengers, going against the number 20 ranked Iron Man 2. And then we'll have the number 9 ranked Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 versus the number 16 ranked Avengers Age of Ultron. So both Avengers movies going up against it next week. So it's going to be a good one. I'm super excited, but that'll have to wait till next week. And speaking of waiting till next week, this has been another episode of the Working Perspectives Podcast presents Ask AI. In case you're wondering, you can find all our stuff and all our content on all podcast platforms and YouTube at Working Perspectives Podcast. You can also on Instagram at Working Perspectives Podcast. Join us on Twitter and TikTok at Working P Pod. And if you'd like to be a guest on the show, please email us at workperspectives@gmail.com. And please like and subscribe. We'll keep bringing you this sweet content. Thank you so much for checking in, listening. I know I was by myself tonight. Usually I have my partner Bern, but there's a holiday weekend and stuff got kind of screwy. So really hope you enjoyed this. Please leave a comment. Let us know what you think. And as always, we love you. Thanks. See you.